welcome to Very Terrible. Today we're going to Trash Smash featuring the new Rotom V from Lost Origin with a scrap short attack doing 40 base damage plus 40 more for each Pokemon tool cards you put into the Lost Zone from your discard pile. So we actually need to discard our tool cards first before we're able to put them into the Lost Zone. That means we have to be extra careful each time we use this attack since we would eventually run out of our tool cards to banish. To help us attack more times and do extra knockouts, we have our Maractus from Fusion Strike with Addition Shake attack doing 50x damage for each Pokemon tool card you discard from your hand for 1 grass and 1 colorless. So this card is the perfect match for our Rotom V, helping us discard our tool cards while doing big damage for massive knockouts. While playing 3 Cinccinos for the draw sport, 1 Cynthia, 1 Bruno, 1 Schoolgirl, 1 Avery, and 1 Caitlin. We also have 1 Arezu, 1 Incense, and 4 Level Ball to evolve our Cinccinos fast, 4 VP Pass, 4 Quick Ball, 2 Capture, and 1 Hisu and Heavy Ball for the basic summon. Onto our tool cards, we're playing 3 Air Balloons for the switch, 4 Expansion to help us attack on the next turn, 4 Box of Disaster for Rotom, and 3 Lucky Egg for the extra draw. We also have 1 Shopping Center to help us put our Expansion Share and Air Balloon back into our hand after using their effects. To satisfy the 2 energy attack costs for both Maractus and Rotom, we're playing 2 Cups of Raihan, for the extra power play with 1 Boss's Orders, and to make the deck more consistent, with 1 Raikou V with the Fleet-Footed ability, helping us draw an extra card if it is in the active spot. It can also do Lightning Rondo for big damage without relying on your tool cards. Finally, for our energies, we're playing 3 basic Grass, 3 basic Lightning, 2 Aurora, 2 Capture, and 1 Energy Surge. So that's all for the deck list, and be sure to grab yourself some packs from our sponsor at X-Trainer90 Team to build your very own deck from any cards in format. They even sell online codes for character rares, full art, and gold cards to expand your collection. So check out the link in the description below or click on the top right corner of this video to enhance your PTCG experience. Use code BTT for 5% off any products to get yourself some lovely cards. And now for the moment of truth, let's go for some gameplays! Okay, let's go for our first game versus Giratina VSTAR. This is a very powerful card, the new Lost Zone tag with Comfy, Colress, Giratina, Mirage Gate. They got Star Requiem, doing a instant knockout if you have 10 or more cards in the Lost Zone. So obviously you need to set up for that attack, and it's only, I think, I'm not sure if it's an ability or attack. I'm pretty sure it's an attack, but only 1 colorless if I'm not mistaken. Whereas the 280 damage, the main attack, the attack that it can keep using, is actually 3 energy attack cost, 1 psychic, 1 grass, and 1 colorless, which is quite heavy. That's why you need your Mirage Gate to help you search for those 2 different energies. You can actually play Gardenia or Melanie. They actually chose to play Melanie for this deck, I think, because they got water energy. And we got our Rotom in the active spot, which could be a bad thing because if they kill the Rotom, they get 2 prizes. It's only 190 HP, so the main strategy for this deck is to basically, if you have a Rotom in play, you can draw fast early in the game. If they don't play a Marnie, you get to keep your hand. And if they do play a Marnie, at least you would probably get either a supporter card or your Cinccinos out. And then you can actually play your Box of Disaster as well. If you attach your box onto Rotom, they actually take the recoil damage of 8 damage counters, and 8 is quite a lot. It's actually a bit more than your Maractus. If you discard the box from your hand, if you discard Box of Disaster, you're only doing 50 extra damage with your Ditch and Shake, as opposed to placing 8 damage counter, which is an extra 3 more with your, Rotom. Because if you have your Rotom knocked out with that tool card attached by damage from your opponent's Pokemon, if they play effects of attacks, if they use Star Requiem or even Lost Mine to kill your Rotom, then you can't actually use the Pandora's Box effect. You can't use Box of Disaster to place 8 damage counter on their Pokemon. It's only onto their active Pokemon as well, so it's kind of different from Spell Tag. Spell Tag is much more free. It helps you, place damage counter in any way you like. Only 4 though. Once your, Pokemon gets knocked out, your Pokemon, with this tool card attached gets knocked out. But it doesn't require you to have full HP if I'm not mistaken. Whereas with your Box of Disaster, you actually have to have full HP, and it only works on V Pokemons. So if you attach it to your 1 price, it's not going to work. You cannot place damage counters on your opponent's Pokemon because that tool card is, it doesn't work that way. So we're going to evolve both our Cinccino right now. We got our double discard, 2 VIP in our hand, free resource. If you have to discard your tool card, it would be quite cringy. It would be quite annoying, but sometimes you may not, you may be forced to do that. You may not have a choice. Right now, we actually get to discard our VIP powers, which is great. Drawing out as much tool cards as we can with our Cinccino. And apparently, we're not able to do much yet because we got quite a lot of tools stuck inside the deck still. So let's just play our energy search, compress the deck from energies. We're gonna just bait them to kill the Rotom by attaching the lightning onto the Rotom. I'm not sure if I want to attach the tool card, because if we attach the tool card, we may not have enough to do Maractus for the knockout. So it's always important to know that don't discard too many of your tool cards. I would prefer to keep them in our hand until we absolutely know they can actually kill the Rotom, then probably attach the Box of Disaster. Or if you have enough tool cards in your hand for the next turn, then, maybe play that card. If you don't, it's better just to keep it in your hand. We only have one tool card, so let's just not attach it right now. Let's just keep it. We got 2 boxes in our hand though. They could quite easily evolve and switch. Playing a comfy deck and then do a boss. I'm not sure if they have that many bosses though, because they lost it quite a few. And if they play the boss, they can't actually play the Colress. So another card lost it. So that's the bad thing about, Giratina decks, is that they have to choose which card to banish, and that means if they remove the boss from play, they cannot use it anymore. If they remove energy cards, they won't have enough to attack, because you are putting energies into the lost zone with Giratina's attack. So 280 damage is a lot, but you actually have to put 2 energies attached to that Pokemon into the lost zone after attacking, which is terrible. That's why I suppose you have your Cramorant. If you are stuck not able to attack, you have your 1 energy attacker, Sableye and Cramorant, 0 energy attack cost. They actually are playing Snorlax for this deck as well. Snorlax to help them do Collapse, I think. I forgot the attack, but 180 damage with Mirage Gate. Not bad. Having the Unfazed Fat ability, blocking all effects of attacks. And we actually got Arezu in our hand a bit too late, but that's okay. Let's just get our evolution out with that supporter. So that we get to compress the deck from that evolution and also do Cinccino an extra time. Let's just draw as much as we can. If we can pull out our boss, we may be able to kill the Giratina this turn before they're able to boss our Rotom. So it's basically down to who gets their boss first. We got our Cinccino draw support. They got their comfy draw support with Greninja. So we should be able to draw ours first. Since we have 3 copies of Cinccino in play, drawing way more cards than them. We got our boss, there we go. But we couldn't play this turn because we already did our supporter card. We played Arezu already. So we're gonna have to wait another turn before we're able to do the boss. Let's just capture another Maractus. If they play Avery, I don't think they have that many supporter cards though. They would probably be doing more Colrus's, but probably a Marnie like Avery or a boss on the next turn. If they do one of the, either one of those 3, it would be quite bad for us. That's why we eventually chose not to bench the Maractus, I suppose. We use Instant Charge again, expecting them to play either a boss or a Marnie at least. They may not be able to do it, but I don't know. Let's see. Flower selecting. Oh my god, they just lost to the VSTAR, and here comes the evolution. They're gonna switch and kill us. Oh my god, they did not do the boss. No Marnie, no supporter card. That's crazy. That is just crazy. So now we're gonna draw even more cards and then bench the second Maractus, charge it up, ready to go, play our air balloon. If we get our shopping center, we get to retrieve our air balloon and then discard it back. We're definitely gonna boss the Giratina right now because they gave us way too many turns and way too many draws. We got our shopping center, we're gonna retrieve that air balloon. We're gonna discard and draw even more cards. Remove the capture, we don't need the capture. Remove the level ball, we're done with the level ball. So now we got 3 Box of Disasters. We should be attaching one to Rotom. and do the boss right now. So always expect them to boss your Rotom. If you run out of your Rotom, you cannot use your scrap shot anymore. So it's always better to keep it in your hand and not play it until the very last second. We have another Rotom in the deck. It's actually in our hand right now, my bad. So it's not too bad. If we have it in the prize, we got that one heavy ball to draw it out from the prize. So Rotom getting knocked out early is gonna be quite bad for you because you're gonna be left with no other attackers but your Maractus. And Maractus can't actually do extra knockouts once you've discarded all of your tool cards. We only have 14 copies of tool cards in this deck. 14 is not a lot. It's only able to help you maybe kill one V, one basic V, and a VMAX. It's not enough for you to kill more than that. So maybe not even, maybe you may not even be able to kill more than a VMAX with your Ditch and Shake attack, just because we have that little tool cards in the deck. And once you run out of your tool cards, once they're in the discard pile, you have to play a Rotom. So that's why I always say bench your second Rotom at the last minute. Don't bench all of your Rotom that early, because once they kill it, you cannot use Scrap Shot anymore. You're stuck with nothing but Maractus, and Maractus is doing 0 damage. No tool cards means Maractus cannot attack, and then you're stuck. You have nothing but Raikou, and Raikou is not helping you much because it only has 200 HP. You can still attach your Box of Disaster to Raikou, but Raikou is not, it's not doing a knockout. Like, it's not doing enough damage. It's basically there for the failsafe. If, for example, if you have one Rotom prize and you're forced to use instant charge, playing a capture for a Rotom onto the bench first turn, sometimes doing instant charge early is gonna help you a lot. That's why I prefer to bench the first Rotom. We may not have a choice. Since Cinccino, it actually needs to evolve, and we only are able to fit that many evolution cards into the deck. We do have one Arezu, one Incense, and 4 level ball for the evolution, but sometimes it's quite difficult to evolve. I'm not sure why, but they don't like giving you your Cinccinos if you only play 3 copies. It's better to play 4 copies, but I don't really see the point of that. I prefer just 3 copies because we actually need a lot of space for our tool cards. If we don't play enough tool cards, we cannot hit enough damage with our Ditch and Shake. We cannot hit enough damage with our Scrap Shot. So we did our Raihan, helping us charge up both Rotom. We have both Rotom now on the bench. We played Raihan at just the right time because they did Cramorant for the knockout. They could have done the second evolution, but I suppose they lost the second VSTAR. So they may not have the second VSTAR on the next turn, but we'll see. If they did Star Requiem on their last turn, we cannot play Experience Share's effect. Raihan cannot be played because they are using effects of attacks. They are not killing our Pokemon with damage, and that means we cannot play our Raihan. So Raihan, Bruno, Cynthia all works the same. Your opponent needs to kill your Pokemon with damage. If they kill you with effects of attacks, my bad. Bruno and Cynthia is a bit different from Raihan. Raihan and Experience Share only works if your Pokemon gets killed by damage from an opponent's attack. If they knock you out with damage counters, with the effects of attacks, with special conditions, you cannot use Experience Share to transfer your energy. You cannot play a Raihan on your next turn. I know I'm over explaining as usual, but it's important to note, it's important to keep on drilling the same facts into your brain, because if you don't remind yourself constantly, you're gonna make that one small mistake, and all it takes is that one tiny mistake, and then you got no energies to attack, you're stuck for one turn, you lose the game. You cannot afford to get stuck for a single turn. That's how tight this game is. It's standard. You don't have the luxury. Okay, here comes Rotom doing 280 damage for only 6 losted cards. We just need to put 6 tool cards into the lost zone because we are doing 40 base damage, so we just need 6 discarded tool cards for us to kill this Giratina right now. And then our next knockout is going to be a bit more difficult because I don't think we have enough tool cards discarded yet. So we only have 4 cards left in our deck, and we may not have any more energies. So if they somehow kill our Rotom on the next turn, I don't think it's that easy though, because Giratina V-Star is now getting booted. And then on the next turn, I don't see any attackers. If they play a Choice Belt on the Snorlax, they can actually kill our Rotom with one hit. And then we actually need another electric energy to charge up for the next scrap shot. And I don't think we have another lightning energy inside the deck. We may have the Aurora prized. I don't know if we have an Aurora still. So one last lightning energy, no Aurora because we already attached it. If they kill the Rotom, we actually need to get the lightning energy from the deck, but we got the training card. They gave us the training card. So if they don't play a stadium card, well, they just killed the Cinccino, so we don't need to do anything. We just need to kill the Cramorant and we win the game. Okay, there we go. We're doing scrap shot for the final knockout. And I'm pretty sure we have the lightning inside the deck. Let's just see what we have. We're gonna draw all the way because we got our final prize this turn. It's already the end. There we go. We got the lightning inside the deck. So all we need is to attach that final lightning without the training card even. We still stand a good chance at winning because we got our final Rotom for the final kill, doing 560 damage against a water type. So even Lumineon is dead because it is a water, so they cannot actually tank. Snorlax actually needs a bit more losted cards, so we need to lost like maybe 4 tool cards to kill the Snorlax. If they play a cape, we may need more, but I think we actually did like a full-on 6 banish. We banished 6 tool cards, and that's equal to 280 damage, killing off another V-Star with Rotom. But since they're playing a water type, it did 560 damage. Twice as much. Okay, we're gonna play our Maractus as the active. We got our capture. We're gonna get maybe a Rotom, or let's get both because we got a quick ball as well in our hand. We're gonna get a Rotom for the instant charge, and then quick ball for another Cinccino. I'm not sure if I want to play the heavy ball, so always check your deck first. If you can, look at your deck to see if you have anything prized. Then make sure you look through your deck before playing the heavy ball. So playing the capture first is actually quite smart. You cannot afford to make a single mistake though. I think for the first game we made a mistake during the Giratina gameplay. We actually wasted 1 card from our hand. We did a quick ball instead of the level ball. So if we played our VIP right, we should have done, we should have searched for a Cinccino and a Maractus with a VIP, and then use our level ball to bench this second Cinccino instead of doing double Cinccino with the VIP, and then quick ball for the Maractus, actually waste 1 card from the hand, and eventually we actually had to discard a Lucky Egg. We had to discard a tool card with the Cinccino, helping us draw more cards into our hand. Otherwise we wouldn't have to do that. We would be able to keep that Lucky Egg in our hand if we were just a bit more alert. So make sure you keep your hand in the game from the very beginning. Don't lose focus. Everything counts, and if you make that one tiny mistake, you're out. Okay, here comes Ice Rider VMAX. They got Shady Inteleon, searching for anything. They're gonna do Melanie on the next turn. Well, they don't need a Melanie, my bad, so they're probably gonna evolve and do a boss. Let's search for our box. If we can get the box, we should be doing it. Might as well. And then keep the second Rotom for later on. So we have the second Rotom inside the deck because we just searched with our capture, and we did not play our heavy ball because we knew we had the Rotom inside inside the deck. And we're gonna do our first hit right now. Unfortunately, we're not able to do enough for the knockout. We just need 5, but we don't really have enough. Caitlin is not joining us enough. We're forced to discard something right now. I don't really want to because we don't actually have enough energies in this deck. We have to conserve as much as possible our energies. But we eventually decided to just discard the Aurora because I suppose we really don't have a choice. And putting way too many cards at the bottom is quite bad because we're gonna have to play an item card to shuffle back to be able to to be able to get back our boss or Raihan on the next turn. But we really wanted to do a Ice Rider knockout because if we kill the Ice Rider this turn, they actually need to re-bench another one. So we just need 5 though. We just need 3 more tool cards, but we got only 1 extra one with our Caitlin. We're not playing any toolboxes in this deck. There is actually a new item toolbox, which allows you to look at the top 7 cards of a deck and put any tool cards you find there into your hand. But we decided to not play any of those items. We decided to add more tool cards in the deck, 1 extra tool card, just to help us do even more damage. With our Maractus, helping us increase the chances of us drawing more of them into our hand without playing that item. Because most of the time, when we do play that item, we would only get 1 or 2 copies of the tool card, which kind of defeats the purpose of playing that in the first place. If you play it early, chances are you're either gonna get 0 tool card from the top 7 or only 1, and most times I get 0. So it's actually quite frustrating playing that item. I don't know why if you have only 14 tool cards in your deck, you're very unlikely to draw them out from the top 7. Okay, we have our Rotom on the bench. They actually killed the Maractus, leaving the Rotom on the bench without playing a boss. They did a Melanie onto the second Ice Rider. Quite unnecessary because they actually killed us with Rite of the High King. That means they got enough energies to attack with the same Ice Rider on the next turn if we don't kill it this turn. And I don't think we can because we just played a Cynthia. That was a big mistake, putting back the Raihan into the deck. If they play a Marnie though, it would be the same thing, I suppose. So Caitlin kind of screwed us over, forcing us to delay an extra turn. Now we cannot attack. We have to pass a turn, leaving Rotom and Maractus on the bench, vulnerable to boss's orders. Let's just do the box. Because we at least have 8 damage counter, we would need to discard less energies, less tool cards from our hand if they target the Rotom. But I think we actually need another box though, because they can choose which Rotom to kill. We just bench too many. So that's why I say always bench your Rotom late. We made the mistake of benching it too early. If they play Avery right now, it would be quite terrible. I think we are trying to draw as much as possible. We were trying to draw as much cards with our Cynthia. That's why we decided to bench our Rotom. I think it's okay though if they kill our Rotom this turn. They actually need another boss to deal with the second Rotom. If we are able to kill the first Ice Rider with Scrap Shard, and then all we need is to do Dish and Shake for the next VMAX knockout. I think we actually have enough tool cards for the next knockout because we haven't discarded that many. We have a lot still inside the deck, so we can quite easily do Maractus for the second VMAX knockout if we kill the first one with our second Rotom. So had they done a boss on their last turn, we should be playing our Rotom first, and then Maractus on the next turn. If they boss the Maractus, Rotom is still able to attack because we can do Cinccino to discard our tool cards instead of attacking with our Maractus. So we don't need to discard with Maractus. We can discard with Cinccino. We can discard with Aurora Energy, with Quick Ball. We got a lot of ways to discard our tool cards from our hand without playing Ditch and Shake. So Rotom can attack regardless. Maractus though, once you run out of cards, once you have no more tool cards to discard from your hand, once you run out of them from your deck, from your prize cards, you actually are doing 0 damage with that attack. And then you're left with no attackers, nothing but Raikou. I keep calling Raikou Entei. Nothing but Raikou to fall back on for that final. Maybe 200 plus damage. With Lightning Rondo, you're only able to do a max of 220 if both players have a full bench. And we're not playing Choice Belt, that means we're not doing extra damage. No Zapdos as well. Zapdos for Rotom though would be quite cool. You can actually play nothing but Rotom and Cinccino with Zapdos. I think that would be, that would still be a really good deck because Rotom can do so much damage. If they play a one price though, you're completely screwed because Rotom not only needs 2 energies, but also it has only 190 HP. Even with the cape, I don't think it can survive a one price card. Regidrago from Evolving Skies, 240 damage is enough to kill for 2 price. And Box of Disaster is not killing the Regidrago. So if they play Lunatone, Solrock, even that is not enough, right? 90 HP, we're only placing 8 damage counter. That means we're not getting an extra price. We're actually, we need a Zigzagoon or something. So we're actually 1 price behind if they kill our V card. Unless if they play like anything below 80 HP. If they attack with a 1 price card below 80 HP or even 80 HP, we can actually do a double knockout and then, even out the number of prize on both players' field. That means if they draw 2 prize, we would essentially be drawing 2 prize at the same time. An extra prize with the box, obviously, but probably an extra prize on the last turn already. If we're playing against a 1 prize, we should be attacking and collecting our first prize early. If we don't actually stand a chance at winning. We need to draw 1 prize at a time. And if they play a Zoroark with Slowbro, the infamous Slowbro combo, I don't think we stand a chance. Because V cards, it's quite impossible for V decks to win a Slowbro. Unless if you're doing a VSTAR or VMAX. So scrap short for the final kill. We actually got just enough tool cards. Just enough to kill the Ice Rider. So we should not have attached our experience share on the last turn because we could have discarded, we could have removed it from our hand with either the Aurora Energy or Cinccino's Make Do. We can actually discard it for even more damage, killing off the Ice Rider with 360 damage, but oh well. We don't actually need it, so it's kind of the same thing. Another Lost Origin. I think they're playing a Clefairy deck. Clefairy with Cinccino. Pretty sure Clefairy doesn't need Cinccino. Okay, it's not a Clefairy deck, my bad. The next game would be a Clefairy deck. Okay, here comes Hisuian Zoroark. It's a colorless type, that means you get to play Dunsparce, Sharon, a pretty cool new card that you get to play with. A Ghost normal type. Okay, now we have to decide which card to discard. We chose the Bruno. And we're just gonna attach the capture for our Rotom. I think it's always best practice to get a Rotom. I don't know why I just prefer to do that, because even if they Marnie, we're more likely to get a better hand. Since we are, stuck with kind of nothing but 1 level ball to evolve the Cinccino. We actually got a pretty decent hand right now, so if they play Marnie, I would be quite sad. I think all they need to do is to discard the Gengar early. If they can remove the Gengar and then play the Gape Jawbog early, they can do enough damage to kill our Rotom even. And they don't need a lot, honestly, and then play a boss. So let's see if they can pull it out fast enough. How many Gape Jaws do you have? How many And they are playing the Ocean Search. They are playing the Shining Fates Manaphy to help them search for Pokemons from the top 6 cards of their deck with the ability. And if they get the Gengar, they get to discard it from their hand. And then play the ability to basically damage itself. And then do damage pump to spread the damage counter onto all of their bench Pokemon. So damage pump only allows you to move up to 2 damage counter from one of your Pokemon to any of your other Pokemon in any way you like. But 2 is a lot still. And then you get to do 150 damage with your Zoroark. You actually need to spread a lot though. If you have 2 Gengars, summon from the discard pile, you actually get to play. All you need is 2 damage pump to do the max damage output with your Zoroark. And they did the Gape Jawbog way too late. They need Scoop Up Nets. They need to scoop up the Diancie, Dunsparce, something, and then rebench it to help the Zoroark do extra damage. So are they able to get a scoop up now? That's the tricky thing about Zoroark, is that you need to play, enough counter cards. If you don't get your Stadium card early, what are you gonna, how are you gonna recover from that? What cards can you play to reverse the effect? The only thing I can think of is Volo and Scoop Up Net to empty your bench so they get to rebench for Gape Jawbog to take effect, or even for Gengar to use its ability. Because if you have too many Pokemons on your bench, you're forced to rely on nothing but damage pump, and you only have 4 copies to spare inside your deck. You can only fit in 4 copies of damage pump. If you don't get it early, if you can't seem to get even 1 copy, I don't think there's any other way to search for items. You can do Cram-O-Matic, Peony, Skyla, Opal, Pokestop. There are a lot of ways actually, but it's still pretty difficult though. It's still pretty difficult to get the damage pump. Okay, we're playing our Quick Ball to get we did Aurora Energy, my bad. We attached Aurora Energy to discard a Cinccino, and then we did another instant charge. So we are basically delaying the game because we know they are not able to do enough damage for the knockout. They're only doing 10 damage. Void Return is doing 20 less damage, my bad. Only 30 base. That means it's doing only a total of 10 damage against the Cinccino, which is a bit of a joke. And now they finally evolve but have no damage counters in play. Got the Gengar. And they use the ability to discard their hand, drawing 7 cards. Pretty cool ability. Phantom Star, a research. Fits in really well with your Gengar. So that's probably the meta, combo that you want to be playing, helping you get as much damage counters into play and do as much damage with your Zoroark. We got our box, but nothing else. Are we gonna play the level ball? We got a Cinccino discarded, so let's just discard the level ball. Oh my goodness. Oh, okay. We haven't evolved our second one. My bad. So we're gonna evolve our next Cinccino and then do double make do. We're forced to discard a tool card right now, as you can see. So let's just discard the box and then draw until we get either a boss. Well, boss is not gonna help us. They got Diancie. So we actually made a mistake later on. You'll see that we actually played the boss at some point in the game. And it failed. So tune in for that. We're gonna make do one more time. Are we gonna play the Caitlin? Let's just do another instant charge. Okay, let's attach the Pandora's box onto Rotom. I prefer calling it the Pandora's box. Box of disaster. We can actually kill the Diancie this turn. If we knock out the Diancie though, they would actually be able to bench something. And then Zoroark can actually kill our Maractus with damage pump. So I think we should be just delaying the game until we have enough tool cards. Let's just see what happens. If they have a scoop up net, they can reverse. And then boss kill either the Rotom or Maractus. But either way, we got, 2 attackers on the next turn. I think we're safe. We got a box even. That means we would need, a lot less discards. We only need 4 discards. Well, 5, my bad. 4. We're doing 50x. So 4 discards to kill off the VSTAR with our Maractus. If they knock out our Rotom with full HP, it actually needs to have full HP. So if they do a 2-hit knockout, you would essentially be able to draw 1 prize, 2 prize for 2 turns. And they are basically drawing 2 prize for 2 turns. Same thing. If they play a 1 prize deck killing your Rotom with 1 hit, with full HP, you're actually drawing 1 prize. You're drawing 1 more prize while your opponent draws 2 prizes. So it's basically, balancing, you're evening things out. You're leveling the playing field by drawing 1 prize. That means your opponent is basically drawing only 1 more than you on this turn. Right? They're only drawing 1 extra prize this turn. They are 1 prize ahead of you. That's what I'm trying to say. Otherwise, they would be 2 prize ahead if you don't play the box. If they play a 120 HP attacker though, or even a level ball card, if they don't have any damage counters on it, Box of Disaster is not doing a knockout. That means you're not, it's not helping much unless if you do like Radiant Blastoise or something. Okay, we got both attackers. They did not play a boss. I don't think they killed anything. So they actually gave us the Zoroark. I don't know what's happening. They gave us a Zoroark, knowing that we're probably gonna play a boss eventually, but boss doesn't work though. I don't know why they gave us the Zoroark. So now we're just gonna do Ditch and Shake for a VSTAR knockout. We finally got it. 300 damage. We need to discard 6, which is a lot. And then after that, play our what's it called again? Scrap Shot to kill the second VSTAR. And they finally get to play their Gengar. I don't know what the ability is called. Cursed something. Double turbo for 250 damage, I think. 280 damage, right? I think it's 60x. Or is it 50x? 50x each damage counter. Each Pokemon with damage counter in play on each of your Pokemon in play that has damage counters on it. So they are actually doing a total of 300 damage, but if I'm not mistaken. With Choice Belt though, they get to do 310 against Choice Belt and Double Turbo, 310 against a VMAX. That's why they need the Hawlucha, because they're not actually doing enough against a VMAX, unless if they do like Powerful Energy. 280 without the Choice Belt though is pretty cool, because you get to kill any VSTAR with 1 hit. So maybe play like Tool Scrapper to deal with the Big Charm. To deal with for Hisuian Gudra though, you may actually need 2 strikes. So Gudra, I don't think Zora can win a Gudra, because Hawlucha is not doing anything, and there's no way you can hit 350 damage. Like Gudra, if they play Gardevoir and Lake Acuity, they would probably be playing Crystal Cave though. I think it's better to play Crystal Cave because you have more level of control doing a Crystal Cave with Gudra. And if they play Gardevoir, all they need is a Gardevoir. That means you need 370 HP. If they do Fantina, you need even more. You need 370, 490. You need to, for you to do a one-hit knockout against the Gudra, you need to do 490 damage. And that's virtually impossible unless if you're playing like a Radiant Steelix. That's probably the only way you can hit that high. So Gudra is insane. And there is no weakness since it's a Dragon type. You get to play Fantina. You get to play V-Guard Energy on the next set. It's crazy. Fantina and Gardevoir though only works for V Pokemons. So if you play a one price high damage attacker, if you attack with Smeargle for example, one price Smeargle, you can actually kill a Gudra if you have enough different... I don't think it can though. I don't think you're able to because it actually can't hit more than 300 damage. I think the maximum you can do is 300 damage. So Gudra is, you know, it's basically invincible. The only thing I can think of to kill a Gudra is Shedinja. Shedinja to place damage counters and then Poison to knock it out. Effects of attacks like Star Requiem actually works as well. So Amazing Yveltal, Galarian Rapidash, stuff like that. Rapidash actually needs 10 more damage counters though. And if you pass the turn, you know, if they survive on their next turn, if they survive a hit, they're probably going to heal a lot of damage with either Hyper Potion or whatever. They're probably going to do something else like Lucky Ice Pop Honey. You have so many heal cards now. We even have Emergency Jelly for the next set. So Emergency Jelly helps you heal 120 HP if you have... I don't know what the condition is. I actually forgot the condition. But if you have maybe 3 or more damage counters on your Pokemon, it's a tool card though. That means you actually have to attach it to your Pokemon to activate its effect. If your opponent plays a Tool Scrapper, you cannot use it anymore. It's kind of like Lumberry. It's the same as Lumberry. If you have like, I'm pretty sure 12 or more damage counters. If you have 12 or more damage counters on your Pokemon, you get to heal, or maybe 30 HP remaining. I don't know. It's kind of the same as Last Chance Potion. Last Chance Potion for a in a tool card format. So if you have 30 HP remaining or less, you actually get to use that tool card. That tool card actually helps you heal 120 HP, and then you have to discard it from your Pokemon. So it's an automatic discard. It works during Pokemon checkup. That means you get to attach it on your turn, and then pass the turn recovering damage, discarding the tool card from play. So that's actually an extra level of control. It's kind of better than your Last Chance Potion in a way, because you get to attach it to your Pokemon and then draw cards after that. If you play a Research, you have to discard the Last Chance Potion from your hand. So attaching to your Pokemon is actually a good thing, unless if they play Tool Scrapper, Tool Jammer, stuff like that. Then we can't actually heal, obviously. I'm pretty sure it needs to be in the active spot as well. If it's not in the active spot, you cannot actually recover damage from your Pokemon. So right now, they have a Diancie, and we actually played a boss this turn, not realizing that they are blocking off the supporter effect. So we should be doing our, we should be humble and play our Maractus, but we actually, you know, we were a bit overconfident and did our boss. We did Cinccino to discard our tool cards, and we don't actually have Raikou for this version of the deck. This is one of the earliest build. We did not play a Raikou for this list. That means we are not able to kill the second, for the final prize is a bit more difficult. We can do a boss. We can't actually play the boss anymore because we discarded it. You know, if the effect doesn't work, you still have to discard it. So that means on the next turn we have no more boss. If they play the Crobat, we need a lot more discards with Maractus. If they kill, I don't think they can kill the Rotom though. If they kill it, we got 8 damage counters in the game, and that means we need much less discards with Maractus. If they don't kill the Maractus, we actually need to lose a bit more tool cards. I think we have enough in the discard pile to lose though. We have a lot more discarded. We have a lot more in the deck. I'm pretty sure 1 or 2 more tool cards in the deck. So if we have that many tool cards, we can quite easily knock out for the final 2 prize with our scrap shard by putting maybe 6 more into the lost zone. So we actually need to put 2 more for Diancie and a little bit more if they play the Crobat. If they have, if they tank with the Crobat, we actually need like 4 more tool cards with our scrap shard. If we don't have 4, we're done for. Okay, here comes the Shadow Rider. Shadow Rider with Gardevoir. Is it a Shadow Rider? I'm pretty sure. So the next, one of the next games, I'm not gonna make any promises anymore. I don't know when, but Clefairy is gonna show up. There's gonna be a Clefairy deck at some point in this video. And they actually are gonna play Cinccino with Clefairy, which is a bit of a weird combo. Because Clefairy works best on its own. You don't really need Cinccino, honestly. You just need a lot of switch cards in your deck. And maybe a Greninja for the draw support. Greninja is the best. And then, if they play Path to the Peak, you just need enough Stadium cards to counter that. Maybe a Pumpkaboo. Fog Crystal. So I don't really think Cinccino is necessary at all. It's gonna slow you down because you need to evolve. Okay, we got our VIP pass. Played a second one for Raikou and a Maractus. So, are we gonna touch the box or the capture? The air balloon. We chose the air balloon and drew an extra card with Raikou. Fleet-Foot and instant charge for a big draw. And now we got 2 Cinccinos for the next turn. We even got Arezu. But I'm pretty sure they're gonna do a Marnie. You never know though, if they don't have a Marnie, you get to keep your hand, and that would be fabulous. We got Arezu, that means we get to search for all the Cinccinos with that supporter, and then discard the item, discard the level ball with our Make Do to draw 2 cards. Here comes Gardevoir. So they're playing a little bit less of the VMAX. I think they have like 3 copies of Shadow Rider, and both Shadow Rider obviously, and maybe 4 copies of Gardevoir. I don't know how many they're playing. Maybe 3 Gardevoirs and 4 Ralts with 4 Rare Candy and 1 Kirlia. I honestly prefer doing Mirage Stab, but they don't have that. They're playing the Brilliant Stars Kirlia, I think. Is it from Astro Radiance? My bad. Kirlia from Astro Radiance actually evolves into a Gallade. Gallade with the Buddy Catch ability, helping you search for any supporter card and put it into your hand once in your turn. So we got only 1 Cinccino inside the deck. The other one is prized. And at least we get to discard the level ball, which is still a plus. Arezu for 1 evolution is still okay. Because if we don't get it, we would at least get an Incense. If we played a VIP on the last turn though, for like 2 Cinccino and a level ball for another one, 2 Minccino, my bad. And then if we get Arezu with the instant charge if they don't play a Marnie, or if they play a Marnie and then we get an Arezu, we would be able to triple evolve the Cinccino for, to draw 6 cards. Drawing 6 cards with Cinccino that early in the game with Arezu is just madness. And it's actually possible because we have 1 copy in the deck. We are making that a possibility. Okay, we're going to attach the Lightning to Maractus and then play a Raihan, I suppose, on the next turn. And they finally did a Marnie on the next turn because we got way too many cards in our hand right now. I guess they're waiting to play the Marnie. Maybe they already have it in their hand and they just decided to wait until we have way too many cards. It's not good to wait though. If you have a Marnie, always play it early. Because if you know your opponent has enough in their hand, they may be able to draw from the top deck on the next turn. If you're playing Cinccino as well, I don't think you have the luxury to wait. Because we actually drew a lot with both Rotom and Cinccino. So if we got like a boss, for example, or you know, enough support, we can actually kill the Shadow Rider already on our last turn. But we didn't get our energy on the first turn, that's why. No energy means we cannot attack with Ditch and Shake, and we are not doing a knockout, and all those tool cards is at the bottom. Now we have only 4 cards in our hand. How are we going to recover from that? We got Cinccino, not to worry. We got an Aurora energy in our hand right now, so it's not too bad. We would have to play either the Air Balloon, or are they able to kill us right now? Probably. Pretty sure they can. They actually need another energy. They need another 2 energy. I'm pretty sure they did Shining Arcana already. There we go. Gardevoir already used his ability. So now we get to survive one more turn. We get to draw back our tool cards. Are we gonna shuffle the deck with Quick Ball first? I don't think we can, because we can't afford to discard anything from our hand. Always remember, don't discard your energies unless you absolutely have to, because they are precious. We have nothing but Raihan to revive them, to reattach them from the discard pile. We have no Rod, no Training Card, no energy retrieval, nothing of that sort. So make sure you don't discard too many energies. We do have Quick Ball, Aurora, which actually forces us to discard, and Cinccino obviously. So make sure you don't discard the wrong things. We got a Schoolgirl, which is great, but I don't think we have enough to kill the Shadow Rider VMAX. So we're just gonna keep our tool cards in our hand and attach the Lightning onto the Raikou. Attaching to the Raikou actually helps us bait them, because Raikou can do quite a lot of damage. If they boss either the Rotom or Maractus, we can at least, you know, partially knock out the VMAX right now, and then boss it on the next turn to kill the first VMAX. And then after that, play either our Ditch and Shake or Scrap Short for the second VMAX knockout. But they got Gardevoir. I actually forgot that they got Gardevoir. So that means they can choose to attack with a different Pokemon. If they invest too much energy on the Gardevoir though, to kill the Rotom, or, well, they actually can kill the Raikou quite easily now. They got O Cemetery. We actually forgot to check. Now we have only 10 HP on the Raikou. And if they play a Scoop on that, they can do Zigzagoon for the knockout, but I don't think they have that. Probably no Zigzagoons in a Shadow Rider deck. Shining Arcana. No energies. Probably gonna do another Rare Candy right now. Brainwave. Okay, are they gonna do a boss, a Marnie, or are they just gonna attack? They did a boss and killed the Rotom. That's terrible, because we just lost one tool card, and now I think it's better for us to just attack with the Raikou. If we get our shopping center, we can actually attack with Raikou, and then, you know, boss the Shadow on a bench. So this is actually looking quite bad for us, because I don't really know what to do, honestly. We should not have done that though, because we forgot that Gardevoir can attack. So if we can actually if we had enough tool cards to kill the VMAX right now, we could actually save the, you know, save the Rotom for the final VMAX knockout with our boss. We can save our boss for another VMAX knockout using Scrap Short. But we actually need 2 energies though. So how are we gonna do that? How are we gonna play a Raihan and a boss at the same time? That's probably way too difficult. And if we leave it on the bench with an experience share, they're probably gonna boss it before we get to attack with the Rotom. So that's a bit of a tricky situation, because Rotom needs 2 energies. I guess we'll have to deal with the risk of them playing another boss. So Shining Arcana, kind of like Cinccino, if they play one more copy of boss in their deck, They are more likely to get it, you know, they are very likely to get it easily using, you know, having that much draw support. Not only are they drawing with Shining Arcana, they got even more draws with, you know, Training Card and Underworld Door. So they are not playing Training Card though. They got Old Cemetery instead of Training Card, which is a bit interesting. We have only one stadium for this deck, Shopping Center, and that's it. No Pokestop. You can actually choose to play that card because you can discard. We're playing so many items, so you should be getting a lot of items if you play a Pokestop. But I prefer just to keep it. If you do a Pokestop, you need to think about rods. Because if you discard your Pokemon, you need to shuffle them back. If you discard your energies, what are you going to do? But if you play a lot of items though, a lot more items than your Pokemon and energies, chances are you would probably discard, you know, at least 2 items from the top 3 cards. But you never really know. Honestly, you never really know. It's always a gamble. There is definitely a higher chance of getting your tool cards that way. So you would probably be able to do faster knockouts with your Pokestop. But consistency wise, you would need, if you don't get the discard though, if you don't get the items, you would need to recover from that, right? It would be a terrible, it would set you back by a lot. You would not only need to draw even more tool cards on your next turn, you would also need to revive your Pokemons and energies. Okay, they actually chose to retreat and kill us with a Gardevoir this turn, which is terrible. So we played an Avery on our next turn, and that Avery actually saved us. It saved us a lot. Another Gardevoir. They got 9 cards left in the deck, so they can quite easily deck themselves out if they don't have any more recyclers. Okay, 7 cards left. 5 cards left. Investing everything on the first Gardevoir is just not that smart, because they don't even need that much. They don't need that much energy on the Gardevoir, so it's quite silly to be attaching everything to the same one. I think they were being a bit overconfident, because they are like, you know what, we have 3 attackers, 2 prize remaining, we're winning this game. And we're like, no way, we're not letting you have that, we're just gonna kill off the Gardevoir right now, and then tank with our Rotom on the next turn, because Shadow Rider is not doing enough. Well, they would actually be doing enough though, if they have like 1 more energy from their hand. Well, they don't need another energy, my bad. So we're just gonna play an Avery, see what they do. If they discard the Shadow Rider with the energy, then killing this Gardevoir would be a big plus. Because we can tank with our Rotom. There we go, they discarded the Shadow. That's a big deal, because that means we need, we did basically 0 damage with Raikou. They're erasing the damage done by Raikou, but that also means that they have much less energies in play. They can still kill the Maractus in the active, because it has only like 80 HP remaining, 70. Thanks to Old Cemetery, it's like almost dying. So we're gonna kill the Gardevoir, and then I think we should be benching the Rotom right now. I'm pretty sure they can't actually kill the Rotom on the next turn. But let's just be safe. Let's just be safe and knock out the Gardevoir. They got, if they play Energy Recycler, they can Shining Arcana and then Underworld Door for even more energies. It's quite easy to kill the Rotom. They just need 3 more energies in play. Training Card is going to help them a lot. If they don't play any copy though, I think they only have Old Cemeteries in their deck. So Training Card is basically the key to a Shadow Rider deck. I don't think you can go without that card. It's kind of essential. Old Cemetery is quite fun, but I don't know, it isn't really doing much, is it? So we're gonna discard our boxes and maybe an air balloon. We just need 3. So we discarded 3 box. And now we actually need 5 more prize to win the game. 5 more prize is a lot. But they got 5 cards left in the deck. We're basically trying to win in a different strategy. With a different strategy. Either decking them out or to kill off the Shadow with the Raihan right now. And then force them to get stuck on the next turn with no energies. Because it doesn't seem like they could do anything. No Recycler, no Shining Arcana, no VMAX Evolution. So I don't think they're able to play... I don't think they can survive if we kill this VMAX. So we got our Raihan. Let's just search for another metal, another Lightning Energy. Scrap Shot for the VMAX knockout. And then Scrap Shot again for the win. Can we actually kill the VMAX with our Maractus though? I'm quite curious about that. Is Maractus actually doing a knockout? Because we got quite a lot of tool cards in our hand. Let's draw with Cinccino first, see what happens. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We got 5 tool cards already. We just need 2 more. 2 more Pokemon tools. But we discarded quite a lot on the last turn. Well, we only discarded 3, right? We only discarded 3. So if we attack with Maractus though, they can kill it more easily, right? We should be attacking with Rotom, because Rotom can tank more damage. So let's just play our Scrap Shot to kill the Shadow, because they have 1 prize remaining. So we want to be watching out for that. If they have 1 last prize, we shouldn't be attacking with Maractus. Air Balloon. And we got another Make Do, but we only have 3 cards left in the deck, so we cannot actually draw anymore. If we draw any more cards, we would be dead. So all we need is 7. Well, 6, right? 6 plus the base 40. That's 320 damage. Oh, my bad. It's 7 plus the base damage. So 8 times 40 is 320. And now they got no energies, they just conceded. We won a game against a Shadow Gardevoir deck. Pretty cool. So I think I'm just gonna end the voiceover right here, and if you guys focus on the game, hope you guys enjoyed this new combo. We are featuring today the new Rotom V from Lost Origin, and also our Maractus doing a toolbox, discarding tool cards from our hand, doing 50x damage for each tool discarded in this way, and also doing a OHKO with our Rotom V by losting our tool cards from the discard pile after playing our Maractus. If they boss your Rotom and knock it out with 1 hit, we got our Box of Disaster to help us place extra damage counter on our opponent's Pokemon, 8 damage counters with that tool card, and then we also have our Raikou V to attack in the event that we run out of our attackers. If we cannot attack with Maractus anymore, if we don't have any more Rotoms to do Scrap Shot, if we don't have any more tool cards to discard from our hand, we can actually do Lightning Rondo with our one copy of Raikou, helping us save the day and do extra damage with that powerful attack. Because all we need is 2 energies, and we don't need to discard any tool cards. We don't need any tool cards in play inside the deck, inside the discard pile. So that's all for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. We'll see you next time. Have a great day, and bye for now, lovely people. Enjoy your life.
chat with you a little bit. I miss you a lot. Bye, hon. And I miss hearing your voice.
Your call has been forwarded to an automated voice messaging system. At the tone, please record your message. When you've finished recording, you may hang up or press 1 for more options.
Bye.